Goedemiddag Brian. Ja, ik denk dat de meest gestelde vraag zal zijn, hoe is het met die ziekenboeg van je? Is die al aardig aan het leegstromen? Wat kan je daarover vertellen?
Is that really, that's the most important question?
I think so.
Yeah. I understand. It's also fair. It's fair enough. We had a bad spell in the last period with a lot of injuries. Of course, I would prefer to talk about football and a lot of the good things that are going on in our team and in our club. But yeah, no, it's looking better for sure. We are getting some players back in fitness, getting some players back on the training pitch as well.
Welke spelers?
Sorry?
Welke spelers?
Well, to start off with Quinten Stengs, he's been training now for some time, and is also available for the game tomorrow. Will be in the selection. Kevin Natch has been training, is also in the selection.
Zal ik je eens helpen?
Milambo also, yes, please help me
Bijlow?
out. Bijlow not, no, unfortunately. Bijlow, Ueda, still not available. Osman, not available. Yes, Julian Carranza is also in the selection. Lotomba has been training and is also really close. We still need a few boxes to take off, but he was in full session today and also earlier this week. But the game tomorrow is a little bit too fast, and also in consideration the game we have on Tuesday and Reed not available for the Champions League games, then we need to be careful on the fullback position.
Ja, wat opvalt, je zegt Bijlow is er niet bij, terwijl de verwachting was dat hij na de interlandbreak weer terug zou zijn. Wat is er met hem?
No, it's not something big, and also he's been training this week, also today, yesterday, on the pitch. So when it comes to the injuries that he had with muscle, then it always takes a little bit. It can take a little bit longer than expected, and of course we want to be precautious also when it comes to Justin. But as I said, he's been training full yesterday and also today.
Stengs zit dan weer voor de eerste keer bij de selectie. Ja, jullie hebben al voorzichtig met hem gedaan. Maar hoe voorzichtig moet je de komende weken met hem omgaan tot de winterstop? Hoe ga je dat managen?
I think it's going to be business as usual with Kelvin, meaning that we know more or less how far we can push him when it comes to load, and a little bit like Gano, we take care of him also and not push him through 3 games per week or stuff like this. Sometimes, yes, you have to push the boys, and also they have to push themselves. But of course, we will still take care of Kelvin, but he's definitely available for minutes tomorrow.
Is Timber inzetbaar? En hadden jullie met terugwerkende kracht hem niet in Rotterdam moeten houden? Hij is nu bij Oranje meegegaan, geen minuten gemaakt.
Yeah, he's not available for tomorrow, unfortunately, no.
Waarom niet? Wat heeft hij?
Well, yeah, he had the same issue as when he left a bit with the ankle. He played for quite a lot of games in the last period with pain and probably also more minutes than he should have played. But due to some of the injuries we had, it was difficult to make the changes and also to protect him a little bit. At the end, he went with the national team to see if he could help Holland, and at the end he couldn't, and also he hasn't been training with them. He's been recovering, he's been getting treatment, etc. And he will not be available for the game tomorrow.
En heb je misschien al inzicht wanneer hij er wel weer bij is? Is hij langdurig afwezig? Of?
Oh no. He already today he did an individual program on the pitch, and I talked to him also before I went here. He's already feeling a bit better, but it's been some games already. I think it was already around Utrecht that he was struggling. So he's been pushing himself and maybe also too much. But and now unfortunately he and we are paying the price, and that's how it is. We expect it's only for this game.
Kan je ook nog even iets zeggen over die jongens die wel weer op het trainingsveld zijn gegaan met langdurige blessures? Dan heb ik het over Hartman en over Jiménez. Wat kan je over eventueel hun herstel en comeback vertellen?
Yeah, it's going really well, to be honest. Santi has been pushing me all week to put him in the selection for this game and also the coming game. He had a full session today. He almost had a full session yesterday. He's been on the pitch for quite some time now, and he is actually feeling really, really well. But again, a little bit the same issue like Lotomba. There's still a few boxes he needs to tick off before he's fully available. But it's going really well, and I expect him to be available in the near future. Q is following the plan and according to plan. He's been in a lot of the sessions over the last 10 days with the group. We're still protecting him when it comes to duels, etc. Still need to be aware. I think he's got one more week in this regime, and then from there on he's full in all the sessions. But we still expect first game time will be in January.
Laatste vraag. Feyenoord speelt morgen tegen Heerenveen en dan komt Van Persie terug in de Kuip. Je hebt niet met hem gewerkt, maar hoe kijk je naar zijn eerste stap als hoofdtrainer bij de tegenstander?
Unfortunately he decided to leave when I arrived. It would have been a pleasure to work with him. I only heard good things about his work at the academy, and obviously I know his professional career as a player. So unfortunately he decided to leave, which is it's his life, and chose his own way to take a job rather quick, quite quick. In his development as a coach, but I think he's taking the normal steps as a new and young head coach. Probably learned some lessons on the way. I definitely remember a game against Arset not long ago, so I can also see that he's adjusting a little bit here and there. So I think he's taking the natural steps as a coach, developing, learning from good things and bad things, and I'm convinced and I'm sure that he will have a bright future as a coach. Graag gedaan.
Gaan we inrijden achter hem.
Yes.
Dennis, Rijnmond.
Als je dat vergelijkt met je eigen ontwikkeling, hè, toen je zelf als trainer begon, je ziet nu bij Van Persie ook iemand met een heel duidelijke filosofie, die dan toch wel wat dingen in aanpast gaandeweg. Herken je dat bij jezelf ook, van hoe jouw trainerscarrière is opgebouwd?
I don't know his specific process in the career. I know he hasn't been a coach that long, and this is his first job as a head coach in the best league. I decided to take a little bit longer time as an assistant coach for working for first team. I had never worked in the youth, for example, which is different. I was fortunate to get a job at the first team straight away when I retired as a player. So I think my way was different in that element, and also I was assistant coach for 8 years before I took my first head coach job. So we all got different paths, all got different ways to get to the targets and the dreams that we have. And obviously Robin has a different background than me. He got a little bit more quality than I had as a player. So he's got a lot of experience from his time abroad and at the top highest level in football. So I'm sure he's got some good things he can take along. He learned from some of the best managers in the world as well. So as I said already, I'm convinced that he will have a bright future.
Het is achteraf altijd makkelijk praten, hè, nu met Quinten Timber, wat je net vertelt. Ja, was het toch niet wijs geweest om hem niet naar dat Nederlands elftal te laten gaan?
Yeah, again, I understand the question, and I think what you sometimes need to remember is the procedure, how can you say, the rules, the laws when it comes to national teams, etc. It's all coming from UEFA and FIFA and these ones who protect the national teams as well. So it's impossible for us as a club to deny players to go with the national teams, especially if they are not injured. And in Quinten's case, he was not injured when he left us. He had pain, he had struggles. He played, I think, 7 games out of 7 possible from the last international break to this one. Of course, as a coach, as a medical staff here at Feyenoord, as a club, we, in Quinten's case, of course, we would have preferred him to stay here. But for me, it's always a cooperation, club, player, and national team together. It's also in our interest that our boys get developed and they play national team games. And I know that Quinten is a team player, and he also loves Feyenoord and will do everything for us. And had a feeling that he could go and play for Oranje, but unfortunately it didn't happen. And then he decided to stay there and get treatment and get recovery there until he came back a few days ago.
Het is nu veel gegaan over de blessures, over de ziekenboeg. Wat heb je de afgelopen weken kunnen doen om waar het echt om draait natuurlijk, om jullie spel en de uitvoering ervan te verbeteren?
Well, actually, I think we had some good days. Even though, yes, we had some injuries. We had some boys away with national team, but we actually had quite a big group. It's probably the biggest group we had in these international breaks. I think we had more than 10 players available. So we were actually able to have some good sessions also from a tactical point of view. I think this week has been really good. We had a good tactical session on Tuesday. We had a good session yesterday and also today. We had a couple of good meetings where we also look at the tactical elements from the games we played so far in the Eredivisie and Champions League, and look at the different data, different things that we need to do better and need to develop. Still need to do even better. So for me, it's been a really good week. The boys have been proactive, and as late as today, we had the defenders in to look at how to defend the box even better and be more specific in how we can try to get up more clean sheets.
Succes.
Dank u.
Even aan de rechterkant. Zijn er nog vragen aan die kant? Nee, dan gaan we naar de linkerkant. Eerste rij. Marcel.
Ja, toch nog even terugkomen op Timber. Ik begrijp dat jij hem laat gaan naar Nederlands elftal. Maar dan na 1 interland stuurt Koeman, Virgil van Dijk. En wie was de ander? Die stuurt hij terug naar huis. Maar Timber niet. Waarom wordt Timber dan niet naar huis gestuurd?
Yeah, that's a question for Koeman. Huh? It's not for me, unfortunately. I cannot answer why he was not sent home. It's impossible for me to answer, unfortunately. I think it's a dialogue between Koeman and Quinten and obviously our medical staff. I know they've been in contact with the medical staff of the Netherlands elftal, but at the end of the day, they decided to keep him there. And as also said, he was in good hands there. He's got good treatment. Just not our treatment, but he got treatment, he got recovery, and now he's back with us, and that's how it is.
Daar kunnen jullie als club ook niks aan doen?
Niks. No, we can put pressure. We can talk to the player, the national teams, but at the end of the day, it's always a dialogue that we're having, and yeah, then you can argue for one thing or another. At the end of the day, I'll look at Quinten, and he's the most important player in this element, and he got good treatment with the national team. I know our medical staff have been in contact with the medical there as well, so I know he's been getting the treatment that we also would give him. And then we knew he came back, was it Wednesday? He was in the building, and then we've been treating him since.
Het is natuurlijk een beetje raar dat spelers die niet eens geblesseerd zijn, wel naar huis mogen gaan.
Yeah, that's a different thing. As I said already, as a coach, of course, I would prefer our boys stayed here if there were doubts or small things here and there. But yeah, it's really difficult for a coach and a club to do something when the national teams are calling up. It's also their responsibility, and that's why I always encourage players and national teams and clubs to work together. We have the same interest. These boys have to perform, whether it's for us or for the national team, but we need to work together, and we need to trust each other in that sense. And it's difficult because it's 3 different parties where we all have our own interest. FEYENOORD has our interest. Player has maybe double interest in FEYENOORD, but also the national team because it's good for him. And Ronald Koeman, he needs to win games also. Otherwise, you guys are killing him. And
Timber wist al dat hij niet ging spelen.
Last game?
Ja.
Probably yes.
Bijzondere situatie.
Yeah, probably yes. Probably yes.
En hoe is zijn situatie nu richting dinsdag?
Yeah, as I said, I had him on the pitch today individually. It went well, and yeah, we're positive for Tuesday.
Want hij is heel belangrijk geworden voor jullie natuurlijk.
That's for sure. That's also important, but for me, the most important game is now tomorrow, and that's what I would rather talk about. It's this game on Tuesday, not on Tuesday, but this one tomorrow against Heerenveen. We need to win at home. We need to get a good performance in to get confidence to go to Man City on Tuesday. So this game is the most important one. I know you guys and everybody is always talking about Champions League, but
ja, maar goed, het is niet zo dat je in deze wedstrijd hem spaart.
No. Unfortunately, he's not available, and we had discussion with him yesterday and talked about it. And we also need a fresh and fully fit Quinten Timber, just like the rest of them. And I think you also saw him The games before the international break, he was on the edge, and we had to pull him out. I think also against Salzburg, and definitely last game against Almere City, he was flat physically, but also really painful with his ankle, and then we need to take care. That's a long season, yeah.